I found a hunk of scrap. It was off of that that dumpster dive I did, you know, a couple of weeks ago. It's hard stuff, man. It's definitely alloy, some kind of strange alloy. So we're going to drill this out to 1 1/4 inches, and then we're going to bore it out to our final dimension. So here we go. Ooh, baby. I don't think this wrench is doing much, but I guess we'll try with a smaller drill, and we'll have to step it up. Yeah, this looks like a good victim. Listen to how hard that stuff is. It's going to be fun to cut a thread in this. I might be having second thoughts about using this piece of metal. This stuff is brutal. Mystery metal. Yeah. Alright. We'll step it up here. Come on, baby. There we go. Man, I don't know what it is. It's probably just for, you know, chrome moly, but somebody heat treated it. Let's try our friend here, Mr. 1 1/4 again, and see if he's going to cooperate here. Oh yeah, now we're cooking. I think we're breaking through here. It's almost there. Here we go. Alright, we're going to set up the boring bar and get this out to our root diameter. I guess that's what you'd call it. Okay, so this is how a hack with no thread mics measures threads. I need to find the root diameter of these threads that I just cut. And yeah, I know I cut them down to a depth of 35,000 or 32 thousandths, but then I filed them, so I really don't know what they are. So what I've got is a micrometer in, well, I'll just show you. Hang on. Okay, so this is the setup. I've got a micrometer in the quill of my milling machine. And I've got my piece that I just made, my drawbar, in the mill vise. And I've got a point on here that has a 60-degree point on it, which will match the thread depth, or the thread profile that I just cut into this thing, because I use a 60-degree tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom you in here. You won't be able to see the micrometer, but you'll be able to see what I'm doing with this pointer, okay? Okay, so you can see that this pointer is on the exact top of one of these threads. I've tried to get the angle. Maybe I can move over just a little. Okay, I've got you looking down as good as I can down the length of the thread here. But you can see, like right there, I've got that pointer on the top of a thread. What I'm going to do is I'm going to zero the micrometer by moving the quill up and down. Okay, I'm right there on 0. Right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it over 50 thousandths, or 25 thousandths, because I know I cut a 50 thousandths pitch thread in here, 20 threads per inch. So when I move this over, and what I read off of that micrometer is 27 thousandths. Okay? And I've done this, you know, on multiple threads here. So that's the number it is. Okay? And it makes sense because I cut it to 32 and then I filed it down a little bit. So, you know, I might have taken a couple thou off of it. So let me show you the picture that I've made here now. Okay, so this is a diagram of what we are going to cut in this nut. And you can see what I did is I measured the major diameter of that thread right there at 1.414, which also makes sense because I turned it to 1.420, and I probably filed off 6 thousandths, 3 on each side. And if you look here, 27 and 27. So you take 2 times 27 and you subtract it from 1.414 and you get 1.360. That is what I've got to turn this thing, the ID, to. And then when we cut the thread, we will be cutting 27 thousandths on each side deep, and that'll give us this dimension. So let's get cutting. I've got the boring bar set up. What I did is I took a scratch pass through this thing after I drilled it, and I did this telescope gauge, came up with 1.288. So okay, so I got to take 72 thousandths out of that bore. That's 36 thousandths aside from where we are right now. And when I took that skim cut, I set the dial to 0. So if we go 10 thousandths, $20 thousandths, $30 thousandths, okay, we should be about 12 thousandths fat here. I'm going to reset my dial to 0 right now, so I know that's where I am. Actually, you know, I'm going to take a couple of spring passes here. One more. Okay, now I'll measure it. Yeah, 1.343. Okay, so. Alright, the math says we got to take 8 thousandths aside out of this thing. So I'm going to dial in 5. And we're going to sneak up on this baby. We should be pretty close. .351. Four and a half thou. I'm going to dial in 4. I'm going to slow the feed down. Alright, this should be pretty close. That's what I said the last time. Let's see what we got. Oh baby, it's right on 1.360. Can't get much closer than that. I guess you can't see it. Oh well, it's right on it. So, now it's time to start threading. We are going to put our lathe back to 20 TPI. And we're going to put our internal threading bar in here. Yep. But first, we're going to change the insert because this one is screwed up. Alright, I got to change the insert. Okay, so here's how you tell which is which, because you got internal and external. They both have different leads on them. 16 IRM, 16 ERM. E is external, I is internal. So we're going to use these. They give you this little, now you can see, they give you this little Torx key, and the reason that they give you this little dinky thing is so you don't over torque it and break the screw off. So you don't want to use like an L type wrench. Yep, all three of those edges are busted. I wonder who did that. Make sure there's nothing on the seat when you put a new one in there. There we go, a brand new, wonderful, super duper index. These are ISCARs. I've tried a lot of different inserts over the years, and ISCARs are the best for me anyways. I like them. Okay, now once again we're going to slow this puppy down. Seems pretty sane. And we are going to go over to threading mode here. And we're going to go, we want to be going away from the chuck. And we're going to test it. Yep, that looks like the right thing. Okay. Set up for threading here. I've got this thing turned to the correct diameter. Got my threading tool in there. I've touched off. Got the lathe set for 20 threads per inch. We're ready to go. So this is going to put on a 2000 scratch pass here, and then we'll measure it. Pretty light, but I can still see it. Okay. Okay, that's right on. Good. Okay, so we'll put this back in. Back out to our 0. We'll put on a little more. Here we go. Alright, we got it. That's it. So we'll just chamfer up, you know, both insides, and then we'll put this on and see how it plays. I still got to drill holes in the periphery there for the spanner wrench, but right now we don't need to worry about that. I can use a strap wrench on it. All right, I'll be back with you when this thing is ready to rock. Alright, it's done. So I'll install this and see how she works. Stand by. Well, it's in. It's done. And it works. Show you this end. I left it a little long because I may eventually put a lock nut on here. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Seems to be pretty tight though. So we'll do some high-speed reversal stuff and see what happens. Alright, we're back for one final cut here. This drawbar's in, as you can see right there. And I've got this lathe set for 1,000 RPM, which I never run it this fast. I'm going to put it in forward, slam it into reverse. When it gets going to reverse, I'm going to slam it into forward. Now, keep in mind, my VFD has acceleration and deceleration parameters in it, but I would never try this without this bar installed. Alright, so here's forward. Woo, baby! It's in reverse. Okay, I'm going into forward. How cool is that? Alright, man, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope everybody with a threaded on spindle goes and tries to build one of these so they don't spin their chuck off. Thanks for watching.